as I mentioned, we will be specifically focusing on the upcoming Major League Wrestling events, as Major League Wrestling will be holding Battle Riot 5 and War Chamber on April 6th and April 8th, respectively. And the Opera Cup, which is something very unique to MLW, will be returning on April 6th as the tournament begins with Stage 1. Held to break down the Opera Cup, it is, again, something unique to MLW, and something that when I started covering MLW on Wrestling Express, it was something that I specifically focused on because I had not heard about the Opera Cup, but now I'm actually getting the breakdown that I was looking for when I first started covering it. So let's get to the breakdown now. Held annually for nearly 50 years. This is, by the way, from a press release from MLW through Fightful Select. Held annually for nearly 50 years at various turn-of-the-century opera houses, locations from New York City to Boston. Professional Wrestling Opera House Cup was a grueling multi-day tournament. The best of the day competed in the tournament and would often be an entry to more success, including the World Heavyweight Championship of the day. For years, the cup sat in the attic of the Hart Mansion in Calgary until the tragic passing of the last cup recipient, Stu Hart, the 1948 winner. Honestly, that is information that I don't remember having when I first saw this about a year and a half ago when I first started covering MLW. And that does give a little insight into the early roots of the Cup, because Stu Hart back in the day, for those who may not be aware, Stu Hart back in the day was, I believe, either a certified Olympian, a certified Olympic wrestler, or was very close to being one, as it was, not exactly the time of, it was not exactly the time for international events, as we were just coming out of wartime when Stu Hart was the final champion for the Opera Cup, but also the unique perspective from a historical perspective, if you want to look at it, the last winner of the Opera Cup was the same year that the NWA was formed. So maybe that has something to do with it as well. It is, I would say, extensively possible that that would have something to do with it. But either way, Davey Boy Smith Jr. inherited the Opera House Trophy Cup upon the passing of his grandfather, inspired by the legends whose names are immortalized on the plaques on the side of the cup. Smith donated the cup to Major League Wrestling to reignite the spirit of the greats who preceded today and tomorrow's greats. After a 71-year hiatus, the Opera Cup returned in 2019, hosted by New York's Melrose Ballroom. The Professional Wrestling Opera Cup is dedicated to the great men who have fought valiantly before us to ensure our passion professional wrestling can be cemented and respected in the annals of time. And now we also have the first match announced for Stage 1 of the Opera Cup, starting on April 6th, as Tony Deppen and Hot Sauce Tracy Williams, both top technicians in the world of professional wrestling, will make their MLW debuts with the opportunity in mind to etch their name in history and get their opportunity to be the winner of the Opera Cup. But the Opera Cup has the announcement for Stage 1 of the Opera Cup adds to a stacked show already for MLW's War Chamber event on April 6th. We spoke about Battle Riot yesterday, but thus far on April 6th, John Hennigan and Jacob Fatu will collide for John Hennigan's national openweight championship. The newest AEW superstar, Taya Valkyrie, will defend her still freshly minted World Featherweight Championship against Delmi Exo, and Lince Dorado will defend his World Middleweight Championship against Leo Rush in what should be a spectacular event for two of the best high flyers in wrestling. Willie Mack will go against the top contender for the MLW World Heavyweight Championship, the Real One, as Real One will collide with Alex Hammerstone on April 8th for the MLW World Championship. Alex Kane against Shingehiro Iri in a match between two top stars from MLW. Billy Starks against Becca, which Billy Starks will be rounding out what will be a busy week for her through WrestleMania weekend. Calvin Tankman against Davey Boy Smith Jr., which should be a hard-hitting affair. And again, another women's match as Mandy Leon against Clara Karras. And again, MLW Tony Deppen against Tracy Williams in Stage 1 of the Opera Cup. But we will likely get more from the Opera Cup. More announcements for the Opera Cup for not just War Chamber on April 6th, but also Battle Riot on April 8th. Because right now, as I mentioned, the only matches set for Battle Riot on April 8th include the Battle Riot Battle Royal, which is a no disqualification Royal Rumble style matchup where the winner of the match will receive a future MLW World Championship matchup, which former champion Jacob Fatu exercised his title match earlier this year against reigning, defending, undisputed MLW champion Alex Hammerstone in a losing affair, of course, because Hammerstone is still the champion, but there is still more to be talked about with MLW as we get closer to War Chamber on April 6th and Battle Riot on April 8th. But who will be the next top contender for MLW's championships? We're not going to end with WrestleMania weekend as the previews and the craziness continues the following week with MLW's events, because I will be doing previews for both War Chamber on April 6th and Battle Riot on April 8th, because both those events are big events on the MLW calendar. And also, just to point out, who will advance to Stage 2 of the Opera Cup and fight for the coveted trophy with the stakes higher and their reputations on the line. Expect a classic on April 6th between Tony Deppen and Tracy Williams. Fact of the matter is, MLW is wrestling's best kept secret, and if you haven't been paying attention, now's the time to watch them, as they are live every week on Reels every Tuesday, and continue to grow by the day, it does seem, as things keep going in the proper direction for MLW. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed the content today, as this is the end of the news cycle, and I will see you in the next video.